So good afternoon once again. I am Manilin Anali from English 3B. So for today's video presentation, I am going to proceed or to discuss about the 5 basic steps in developing Rublics. So here are the first step in developing Rublics. Number one, we have determine the learning outcomes and the performance tasks to be evaluated. So it simply means that it is very important to be clear about the learning outcomes and the specific performance tasks that will be evaluated. So very simple, no? So choose tasks that are essential, so aligned with desired learning outcomes, or authentic, so it involves meaningful and real life application of skills. We have also the complex. It contains numerous possibilities for application, extension, and connection of knowledge and skills. All right. And of course, for important note to guide you in identifying the performance tasks that you want to evaluate. So ask yourself the following question, of course. So first you have to ask what learning outcomes or are to be evaluated. Second, which student performance or outputs in the subjects are relevant measure of such students learning outcomes. And third one, are all of these tasks equally important? And then four, which is the best representation of the expected learning outcomes? So that are the following question that you need to ask to yourself before you evaluate. And for step 2, we have here identify the quality attributes or indicators of the performance task. So next, you need to identify the list and all possible attributes or indicators of goods performance. So this can be based from your own expectations and benchmark exemplars of work reflects case standards. So you may explore and specify the skills, knowledge, and behavior that you will be looking for the described standard in one's performance. So be sure to limit the characteristics that are important. And step 3, we have here determine the criteria of dimension. So this a cluster that lists of the attributes or indicators into possible groups or categories and level that categories. So this will form of criteria for assessments. Like just for example, in a dance, so in a dance performance task. So all attributes that pertains on how well student um, execute the dance in terms of movement, body position, placement in stage, and dance style can be grouped under the criterion technical skills. So you can also include criteria in terms of components of performance task. Okay, so and step 4, so determine the benchmark and point values. So what does it mean? So a number of descriptors can be used to denote the levels of performance with or without accompanying symbol for letters or number grades. Example here of levels performance includes are the level 1 beginning and the level 2 developing, level 3 we have accomplished, and level 4 exemplary. So when you say level 1, it is a practice. You have to more practice. And then level 2, you are developed or you're acceptable. And then on level 3, you can say that it is mostly developed compared to developed. So and for level 4, so this is what we call outstanding or um, or a level 4, or it is distinguished. Okay. And for step 5, the last one, we have write the benchmark performance descriptors for a quality work criteria. So it is very important that behaviors, characteristics, or qualities that illustrates or exemplify its performance level are clear and delineated. So these performance descriptors should describe the relevant differences between performance and its level. So these are the differences between performance points can be presented by. So we have number one, aspect of performance or behavior of difference level. So example, evaluates the different characteristic of, like for example, dance. So you have 4 points. And 2, analyze the different characteristic of the performance. So 3 points. And then describe the different characteristic, 2 points. And the last one, we have list the different characteristic of 1 point. A total of 10 points. So next example, we have adjectives, adjectival phrases, adverbs, and adverbial phrases to present different quantitative differences between levels. So we have example here, explains to a very great extent. And second, explain to great extent the. And third, we have explained the moderate accuracy the. So fourth one, we have explained with limited accuracy the. All right. So and for example number 3, we have degrees of assistance needed by the student to complete the task. So example, explain the topic correctly and independently on his own. So second, we have explained the topic with a very little assistance from the teacher or classmates. So that's what we call level 3. So and the third one, we have explained the topic with educational assistance from teacher or classmate. So that is level 2. And then for number 4, we have needs assistance from the teacher or classmate in explaining the topic most of the time. So meaning level 1, it is very unacceptable. So there are need to develop to become more performer, to be perfect the performance.